The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Today's guest I have straight out of New York City, the Big Apple. It's Emmie Chang of TradeCypher. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today, Emmie.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Excellent. Now, before we crack on with TradeCypher and going through what it is and what you guys are doing there, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background? Because there's a big part of education in there with technology, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a degree in electrical engineering and I have an MBA. And most recently, I was funded by Y Combinator for a startup that was a marketplace for kids' activities. So you would say that's sort of like an education technology. And we built a marketplace. We ended up pivoting that to ClassPass for children, which is a huge market for kids. You know, kids who get enrichment activities, primarily a lot of tech. Coding, I really like science and technology type of things. But what was valuable with that is that we learned how to build technologies, build software, talk to users. And when cryptocurrency started growing in 2017, I saw that market take off and realized this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And having been in Silicon Valley at the time, I previously lived in San Francisco. I'm mainly based in New York these days. I had opportunity and access to a lot of my friends who are building really cool stuff. So I jumped straight into crypto, and now we're building what's sort of like a marketplace. It's more like a brokerage platform, but for international users.
That's so cool. It's a very similar story as to mine, actually. Mid 2017 was my entry into the space, and I'd known about it since 2013, but I was like, look, it doesn't have what I need as a trader. And then 2017, I'm like, whoa, this has moved. Like this has evolved. It hadn't just moved, but there were so many different ways that we could access it and use it. And I was just like mind blown type thing, right? And then from then on, I'm like, right, I got to drop everything, man. I got to get into this space. This is the future. This is my .com moment, totally. Right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just so exciting to be a part of it. And it's interesting. Like you've had a very similar way into the market. So we want to tell us a little bit about TradeCypher. Like, what's the issue you're trying to solve? I know a lot of blockchain and technology companies are looking for an issue. I think you've found one and you're looking to plug that gap. So if you want to tell us a little bit about what it is, that'd be great.
Well, I think that almost everyone in the world who has access to TV or news has heard about Bitcoin at this point.
Yeah.
They talked about it so much. But when you look at it, only about 50 million or 60 million people even hold any crypto. Yeah, and that's a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a lot of challenges. So at TradeCypher, we think there's a huge market for people to go in and buy their first crypto. And really understand it, because people don't want to invest in something they don't understand, and it's really hard to understand. But we want to sell it like a stock, for example, because people understand stocks and mutual funds. We want to make it easy. We want a platform that looks like you go on and buy a stock or even a pair of shoes, for example.
Yep.
And most of these sites, they have trading pairs. They have all sorts of complicated things that people aren't used to. So that's what TradeCypher's goal is, to make an institutional grade quality platform that has liquidity of an institution and profession, but allows anyone to come in and get access and be able to learn more.
So basically you're sort of tying in with an exchangey, brokeragey type interface, but a simple one, like an online shopping platform, but also you're adding the education element to it, which is actually giving people the understanding for what the heck they're actually doing. Because I'm with you on that, right? So one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of these platforms, I get it because I've been trading for 13 years. I know my way around a platform. But even for me, getting into crypto, I was like, just like felt like I was walking on eggshells. I was really nervous. And that's from someone who's been working with financial instruments nearly their whole adult life. So like having that education tied in with the platform, because we can go and get the education, right? We know that there are outlets where we can get it. But why isn't it wrapped into the platform where that's where the rubber's going to hit the road? Well, why is it not in there? And you look at other big platforms that are out there, and what they do is they go, oh, thank you for that content from YouTube. And they basically steal people's content, but they don't have it within them.
I agree. I think that, a big portion, like things like big brokerages, they have their own, like big banks will have their own reports on analyst reports for equity. And they use that research department to get more clients. So we think that the two biggest missing things in crypto, we like to use these two words a lot, is usable and relevant. How do we make crypto investment information usable and relevant? Do I care that the transactions per second of Ethereum is going to go to X with some type of technology? Maybe, because I care about the future of the technology. But today, I really want to know why the last 3 weeks it gained 70%, and who is here to tell me this and explain it to me so I understand. And why do I think it's going to go up 5X in the future? Besides, more people will buy than will sell. Right?
Well, that's right. I mean, that's another thing that you touched on there. Like the relevance of information. It's so like people. The why is what I'm getting at. A lot of these exchanges and brokers and they're big. They're billion-dollar businesses. They forget that the client wants to know what's in it for me. Why?
Exactly.
YFM, WIIFM. What's in it for me? What they're doing is they're going, oh, here, have 20% off on your brokerage. And people are going, yeah, but I'm not trading anyway. I'm not buying and selling right now, so I don't care. And they go, yes, but that's what we're giving you, so that should work. And the marketing department goes, it's not working. And they go, but it should work. And they go, but it's not working, but it should work. And then they just go round in circles. And you're like, you're not listening to the client. You're not even asking the question of what we want. You're not helping us. You're just forcing things upon us. Now, look, I speak with a lot of exchanges as well, right? And a lot of the time the answer is, oh, yes, but, we're just trying to do this and this and this. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you've got hundreds of millions of dollars at your disposal. You've got a massive team of developers. Like, these are the people that make this sort of stuff happen. And you guys can't seem to come up with ideas that are fresh, new, and innovative. It's like, this is the backwards step of technology. It frustrates me to no end that they just don't seem to be able to grasp that we want to learn.
Yeah, and we want to learn why. Yeah, like not just how a blockchain works, but why is it that my investment in Bitcoin from 2017, I just checked this for someone. If you invested in February 2017 to today, February 2019, you would still be up over 4X.
Yeah.
With the ups and downs.
Yep.
So let's look at January 2018. If you were unlucky and you purchased at $20,000, what is it going to look like in January 2020? I think it's going to be more than $19,000 by January 2020. But, of course I can't guess, right? Or you might be an even kind. And that's also timing the market so you're bad luck to buy it on that day.
Yeah.
Right? And that you didn't dollar cost average on the way down. Or when you saw it down, you buy in a little bit more now, which is probably a good idea. But these are things that people don't understand, right? Because if you were buying a stock and it tumbled, like Apple has gone up and down over the years multiple times.
Yep.
And at the long run, Apple is still up, significantally more than
a gazillion.
1985.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it. I mean, tying people into the understanding. If you think about this ecosystem as it is now, there's a lot of millennials. There's a lot of people that have never invested in traditional markets before. I speak to some kids and I talk about euro against the dollar. I'm like, oh, I was up 1.5% today. And they're like, is that a joke? It's like, is that a joke? I'm like, yeah, it was a good day. They're like, is that a joke? Because they've got no concept of reality of traditional markets. Their reality is crypto. They've not got any lessons other than the ones that they've copped smack bang in the face. And they're good lessons to have. Don't get me wrong. I learn a lot that way too. We all need to do that. But there's also a lot of people that are not young, that are not in the position where, they've got the skill set. They can't really afford to make as many mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
And that's the like, if you're 22 years old and you lose everything in crypto, fine. You're 22 years old. But if you're 42 years old and you lose everything, that's a painful lesson, a painful thing that you've got to go through. And you don't need to. But unfortunately, there's no guidance. All the platforms and news and they're like, come and do this, come and do this. But they're skipping the come and let's teach you what this is about. Let's teach you about market cycles. Let's teach you when not to buy. When it's doing that, not a good time to buy it. It's a good time to buy it when it's pulled back and it gives you an opportunity of equilibrium in price. People just don't understand that. And so it's really refreshing to hear that the Trade Cipher is looking at the education side, not just the offering of a product.
And we also think the other differentiating factor besides education is to really use, we're calling it a membership model, so the Trade Cipher membership model, where we're asking people to buy a membership for the education every month, but also to contribute a small amount every month. So whatever you can afford. We have an automatic, we're calling it the dollar cost averaging investment, where you're saying, hey, every week I would like to put in $100, or every month I'd like to put in $100. And that way you're sort of investing in Bitcoin. It's a small amount as part of your membership, but you have skin in the game, and you don't have to feel like you're activating to put skin in the game, right? So if you're buying a $20 investment a month, or let's just say $10 a month Netflix membership, you're buying a $10 or $20 a month Trade Cipher membership, you're going to get a certain amount of Bitcoin, you're going to get access to the research, you'll get a certain amount of free trades, and you're like, hey, it's a thing I bought, right? I'm going to use it and start learning.
Well, that's a big deal, actually. As you say, skin in the game. And I've worked with a lot of friends, and given them my stuff for free, and I've helped them and said, look, if you need anything, I'm there. And one of them said, look, I need to pay for it, man. I'm like, no, dude, it's fine. He's like, if I don't pay for it, I won't do it. It's just gone blue.
Right. I'm in a conference room and the lights are
that's okay. You just got this bluish hue. So they're like, look, if I don't spend the money, I'm not going to be doing it. And it's that commitment thing. It's really walking through the door and shutting it behind you, burning the bridge as you walk over it, knowing that you've now committed. And it's like, well, I'm in this for X, may as well make the most of it, and at least to get that X back and leave on my own terms. And that's where a commitment comes. And that's where a lot of people are fearful, is taking that step. And they're fearful as well. Same step is to getting into crypto. And there's a lot of people right now that will be sitting on the fence going, well, Bitcoin, maybe now's the right time to buy. But there's not that. We need to grab those people and corral them and go, hey guys, it's okay. We're going to teach you all about how this actually works. And then they'll join.
Because how are we going to build the next market cap for this Bitcoin with all the same players in the same realms? And all the people the retailers who jumped in January 2018, well, they're all burned right now. How are they going to get their money back? How are we going to build the market cap? Obviously use cases, but also more demand on the investment side. So I believe in the technology. I believe in that. And the third pillar of Trade Cipher is, number one, easy to use education. Number two, a membership model. And the third part is really, in the future, we'd like to take interesting new assets and make them into blockchain-based cryptocurrencies, which are illiquid assets now that have high returns and high market value, but they may be illiquid and not accessible for people in the rest of the world. And this is not offerings, but it is really just to tokenize and be able to trade these really cool things.
Well, that's going to be a really refreshing touch. I know that there are a lot of projects that are discussing how to do this. The good thing is there's so much illiquid assets out there that are of high value that there's plenty of room for plenty of people to come into that. Because if you consider, as we said pre-interview, pre-hitting record, that if you want to have access to a high net worth, a high value blue ribbon property portfolio that's truly international, you need upwards of $100 million. Now, I don't have $100 million right now. And when I do have $100 million, I'll probably be retired and floating around on a yacht somewhere, right? Not worried about property portfolios. But if we're able to tokenize or provide an option for people like myself and you to get in, like just the average person to be able to get into, buy an apartment, a penthouse apartment in Moscow, one in New York, one in LA, one in Sydney. If we can split a portfolio into a liquid asset, well, two things happen. A, it gives me more financial ability and freedom, in the sense that truly there's nothing that I can't invest in now. So I'm empowered to be more of an investor and build my future. And two, it helps the market to grow, because you've just brought a whole wedge in that never existed and we're never going to be a part of that market. So therefore it should help to bring the market up a certain notch. So as long as it doesn't happen too quickly and prices don't go absolutely crazy and we see this huge boom and bust of
of course,
the asset class, then I think it's a really positive thing.
Yeah, we think this is over time, because there are only a few. We think that the cryptocurrency market is going to, the companies that are going to deliver will eventually not deliver, and those bottom coins will even out. And they're not really good, real quality investment grade. I wouldn't even say they're, early stage startup investment grade assets. And the proportion of success from a really high quality venture capitalist in Silicon Valley is still very low. So the probability that any of these things will go. So we think that there's some really interesting things that we can back with crypto in the future and offer this type of platform. And the next thing that's really cool is that you can custody it, right? So that's cool. You don't have to be reliant on your government or a bank to hold these assets, because if you have an American custodian that holds the actual underlying asset, and you can custody the actual tokens and redeem, then that's really cool.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, we think that's it's a future we'd like to look for, that especially for people in Australia and US and maybe EU, this is not as important, but the huge growing middle class around the world, which is rapidly increasing, and their governments can't come up with the best, they can't keep up fast enough with regulatory and quality investment grade assets for their capital. This is a huge opportunity for them.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you've got a lot to do, as we all do in this space, but you're fighting the good fight. When are you going to be up and running with TradeCypher? Like, where are you at now?
Right now, we have a wait list going. It's from now until the end of March. We're actually giving up to a year of free Gold Light research. We're calling Gold Light as our analyst reports and our research. You can enter to join our wait list and be entered to win. We're also giving away 1 BTC. So 0.1 BTC to 10 people that are in the top 10,000. And so that waitlist is open until the end of March. And then starting in April, we'll start onboarding some people, and we'll be generally available ideally sometimes in Q2.
Wow. You've done a lot. You've got a lot to do. I wish you the best of luck. So where do we find out more information about you and the project?
You can go to tradecypher.com, and right there you'll have our Twitter account, and you can follow my Twitter. My Twitter is just @Emmie, my first name. And our Twitter is @TradeCypher. So all the information's there, and you can just follow us and DM me anytime.
Sounds great. Well, I'm definitely going to go and have a proper dig around and have a good, solid look, because I'm interested to see where you're going to take this and following this project. It does sound very interesting. You're certainly touching on some of the things that I find as being key markets, with the education, with the brokering, the platform, and with the accessing to illiquid markets. So I wish you all the best. If there's anything that we can do at all to help you out along the way, then please do let us know. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, Emmie. Thank you so much for your time. And we will speak again in the future, no doubt.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much. And ladies and gentlemen, speak to you again soon. Bye for now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.